The Giants game is rained out. There's a doubleheader on Saturday, and instead of going back to his hotel room, J.D. Davis, owner of a 3-run homer yesterday to save the season, was like, you know what I'd like to do, Giants? I don't want to go back to the hotel. I want to call Willard and Dibs. How about that? So in 40 minutes, J.D. Davis is going to hop on the show with us and tell us about what baseball players do on the road when the game gets rained out. Where will he be going to dinner in Colorado? There's only one place to find out, and it's right here on 95.7 The Game. I do have to tell JD, I have twice written off the Giants season in the last week. Twice. Both times. I have looked at television screens, and I said, hey, you do something, and you do it right now, or else I am out of here. And both times I've done that, J.D. Davis has hit a home run. They were down 4-0 to Colorado last week at home on Friday night, and I waved a white flag, and they hit 3 consecutive homers 2 minutes later, and the game was tied. And you heard me yesterday, 5-2, 8th inning, and I looked at you in a commercial break, and I said, you hit a 3-run homer right now, or I'm done with this team.
And you said it with a little bit of a quiver in your voice. There was quiet desperation. You were fed up for the 7th time
Correct.
with this team. You've waved the white flag
I've
and put it
up
away.
to here, Dibs.
You've given up, and then you've gotten back in. And I'm not saying this to make fun of you because you're a real one. You're a real fan, and even you, as positive a human being as I've ever met, you have actually reached a point where you're like, enough!
Yeah.
I can't take it anymore!
No, this team is super frustrating to watch.
You've actually texted that to me a number of different times.
They're
like,
super
this
frustrating.
team is frustrating.
Yeah.
You haven't said anything like, I hate this team, or
I don't say stuff like
no,
that.
but you for you to say this team frustrates me, and like even walking out of here a couple of times where the game would be on East Coast or whatever, and bases loaded, nobody out, and they're down 4-1, and it's like pop fly, punchy, ground out, and you're like, this team is so frustrating.
Yeah.
It's like, look at you using the F word.
They load the bases with nobody out, and I'm like already running through my head. I'm like, let's figure out which way they find to not score here. And then they do it. And it's super frustrating. I have no idea how they've won more games than they've lost, but here we are. And by the way, with this rain out and the fact that the Mets are up on the D-backs right now 7-0, we're all going to bed tonight with the Giants in a playoff spot. How about that?
Is that factoring in the tiebreakers and all the rest of that nonsense?
No, I think it's factoring in win percentage. They will be percentage points ahead of both
of the D-backs,
of both the
tied
Diamondbacks.
with the Reds.
Yeah, well, no, percentage points ahead, right?
They're both at 514, according to ESPN.com.
Right, but you have to go past the 3 decimals. Like, what's the Reds' record? What's the Reds'
They're
record?
76 and 72.
And what's the Giants' record?
75 and 71.
So if the Reds go 1-1, that's a 500 winning percentage, which is less
than 514.
Then so who's ahead?
Sure, I guess.
You're going to bed with the Giants in a playoff spot, and you're going to have to deal with it, Dibs.
No, you can feel good about that because I wonder about Giants fans and how they would feel. Would you rather have them limp into the playoffs and run it back next year, or miss the playoffs and actually make some profound changes?
I actually think that would be a landslide of an answer. Everybody would rather they miss and make changes,
which is wild.
But I would. But I'm going to give. Can I give you door number 3?
Of course.
Yeah, do both.
Right.
Make the playoffs and then make some changes.
How about door number 4, which is neither?
What's that? Miss the playoffs and then bring everybody back?
Door number 4 is it doesn't matter and you won't make changes because this is what we do. We're going to Rule 5 you into submission.
I don't think that's going to happen. And it's because of something that I learned today. And I want to credit the reporters who did the work. Tim Kawakami did the work. Susan Slusser did the work. There are a number of, our guy, Alex Pavlovich, did the work. And you could see it based on what they've tweeted, what they've written in the last 24 hours. And I will just sort of give you a synopsis of what we've learned. And it starts with this. It starts with all of them have the exact same tone about Farhan Zaidi and Gabe Kapler. And it's this. They're probably going to be back next year. Probably. Nobody pulled out a Sharpie and put it in ink.
I heard pretty likely.
Pretty likely.
Yeah.
So, Since those reports have come out, Greg Johnson has made a public statement to the San Francisco Chronicle that Farhan and Gabe are, quote, not going anywhere. That largely just means, though, that they're under contract for next year, and so they are not expecting to fire those two guys, at least not based on now. Now, if they lose every game for the rest of the season, well, then that may change. But in this moment, they have the vote of confidence. But what I've learned is twofold. A, they're not going anywhere this year, but they are officially on the seat for next year. Like beyond.
What kind of seat?
It's hot. Hot.
Hot.
It is heated. Okay? They've got beef. So the seat is officially warm for Farhan Zaidi and Gabe Kapler. There is frustration at the ownership level. Here's the intricate part that I learned, though. I've had questions, Dibs, the whole time. You know I'm a fan of Farhan and his intelligence.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of what he was trying to do. The problem is he hasn't done it. He has failed to this point to do what he set out to do. But I've had questions the whole time in terms of when you don't land the big free agent, Farhan, is that you or is that your bosses?
It's not you, it's me.
I don't know. I don't know or I didn't.
Right.
I didn't know. Like, are you being told, no, you can't go to the next level financially for Aaron Judge or Bryce Harper? Bryce is the one that to me still hurts. Phillies outbid him. Could you have bid more? I learned a few things. Here's what I learned. Not once in the entire Farhan Zaidi regime has he gone to the bosses and asked for something financially and had them say no. Not once.
Right.
It's never happened. He has been given all of the leeway that he needs in order to do whatever he needs to do financially. It is actually Farhan, not the owners,
right,
who philosophically hesitates to spend big on long-term deals.
And for the most part, he's been right. In terms of
that's true.
Deals yay or deals nay, he's done better on the nay than he would have if he had said yay.